Hey guys, it's Patrick here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install your Virtue Crown 2 speed feed onto your die rotor. So that's what you got. Everything over here, you get 5 of these plastic fingers with the springs on them, and you get the ring to put onto the rotor. So first thing first, you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, and you're going to need some sort of Allen key or thin metal device. So I like to use an Allen key from my kit, about that size, which is like the second smallest one in my Allen key set. And this is going to be used to push out the pin for your hopper lid. So to get started, make sure everything's off to the side nice and neat so you don't lose anything, and it makes it just easier for you. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the lid and take up the lid. You grab this little pin right here, you pull it back, and then you push in the button, and you push in and pull apart at the same time. It should come apart like that, and then the two pieces just come off like that. They're halves. This side you don't need, you can set it aside. And you've got this right now left over, so you can close up your lid so you can lie it upside down. This is where you take your Phillips screwdriver and you proceed to take out these 5 screws. 5, and I'll do that. So just take them, put them off to the side, and from here you can just, from underneath, you push, or you can just grab the lid and you just pull it off. Once this thing's all the way out, you have to make sure that's out or it won't come off too easily. You pull it right off, and this is your shell. As you can see, it's missing that little top half and the lid, so you can set that aside. And this is what you've got right now. What you got to do here is you take your little Allen key. You can close the lid for this if you want it, it'll be easier. Take your little Allen key, and right down in there, there's a little pin. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm just going to wait for my camera. Let me see. Alright, well, it's right down in there. You just got to stick your Allen key in like I do, like that. You're going to feel the little pin. You'll be able to see it. Actually, this Allen key is too big. I'm just going to grab the next smallest one. So now it's this size instead of this size. You take your little Allen key, and you stick it right in there, and you push it through, and as you can see, my pin's coming through the other side. And once you got it through about maybe a quarter of the way, you can open up your hopper lid, and you can turn it sideways and just kind of jiggle it out of there, and then you'll pull it out, and here's the pin you were pushing out, and now you're left with this little gap in here, and there's no pin inside anymore. So you're not going to need the hopper lid, and you're not going to need the pin once the speed feed's in, so you can put those aside in a safe place in case your speed feed ever breaks or anything like that and you need a lid. If it's raining or something, you can always put it back on. Next thing, set aside your Allen key. You don't need that. You're going to take the top half of the shell that we had before. You're going to take your little donut right here, the little donut, and those 2 little indent grooves right there, if you can see that, probably better on a green background. The 2 indent grooves right there line up with the 2 screw holes right there and there on the other side of this tab. So you take them and you put it in there, and it just sits on top of all these little pegs right here. And once you make sure that all the pegs are lined up and the 2 screw holes are right there, now you can start installing your fingers. This is probably the trickiest part, because these fingers are a little bit heavier than the plastic ones, and you go like that to put it in right onto one of the little grooves, but while you're putting it all together, if you just bump one of them, well, that one didn't really seem to want to go, but often they'll just go like that, and then they'll fall through, and then you have to try to restart it. So just try to be as gentle as possible. you go like this, one. It doesn't really matter what order you put it in. They always have to be spaced apart because you can't put them right beside each other like this. Seeing how that one just fell through. You can't put them beside each other because they'll just touch each other and then they won't work properly. It doesn't matter if you have one up there like that or two like that, because eventually you have 5. It's an uneven number. One of them's going to be like that eventually. So I usually just go like this. It really doesn't matter. You're not gonna see a difference in performance or anything. Make sure they're nice and snug in there, and make sure they're always one spaced apart. Oh, my bad. Okay, so once you have it like that, you can take, as you can see, they're all in there properly, and the donut's securely down on top of all the pins. You can take your top half, not the top half, the little plate that goes over top, and you take the little front peg, stick it into the screw hole like that, and over, and just squeeze it down and make sure you got everything in nicely and you're not pinching anything and it all went down. Just look inside that little groove. It should look all uniform, shouldn't be like any of them are falling out halfway. That's how you know you got it in properly. You can push your pin down now that once you have the little shell on top. Next thing is you flip it over. These are all securely in there now, pretty secure, once this piece is on top. So you flip it over. Now you can put your 5 screws back in. Once they're all in, you just go around one more time and make sure that they're all nice and snug. Doesn't need to be too tight, just like that is good. And that's your speed feed. It's in now. Just test the fingers, make sure they all work. Spring fingers are really good for this. You can take your nose cone, top cone, pull that little pin out again, hook it into the front like that, and push the little button in at the back, and then the 2 pieces just go together and you can push your pin down and it locks that button in place. Your speed feed is now finished and it's ready to go and put some paint in it, and the paint just falls really nicely into there. All fits in there, and then it all moves out of the way, and then as soon as the paint moves out of the way, the fingers just snap back up. And as you can see, with the little bit of paint that's left in this pod, it really does just let in all the paint that falls on it. Like, you can't even get one ball to balance on the top. They all just fall in, and oh, I missed that one. But yeah, you can't even get that one to stay up there. It just falls right in, gets trapped underneath those fingers, and it's never coming out. So, in my opinion, great speed feed. It's the Virtue Crown 2. Go pick it up at your local pro shop. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys, and I'll have some more videos up soon. Sorry about the delay on the other ones. If you guys want to see any videos, please inbox me, ask me questions, ask me to make more videos on anything else you want. Everything is nice to hear, and I always like to help my viewers with any questions they have or anything like that. So make me a message and I will definitely get to it quickly and read your comments or whatever you want. So thanks, guys, and that's your installation video on the Virtue Crown 2.